Okay, guys, this is our next lesson in our Unit 3 for nonfiction compelling evidence. Today, we're going to take a look at the pros and cons of gun control. As you can see in the title of this assignment, we'll be dealing with gun control, the pros and cons sides, both sides of the argument. And ultimately, you're going to be completing a paragraph using compelling evidence for one of these two sides. The reason we're doing this activity is it's a previewing activity for the documentary Bowling for Columbine, which we're going to watch sometime next week, which deals a lot with gun control. Now, before we get into this activity, just like before, I'm going to walk you through step by step what to do in this video. Occasionally, I will ask you to pause and do some actions. So I will be expecting you to pause and do those actions at those moments. So let's get into just an introduction first of the actual assignment itself. So it says, as you already know, Unit 3 Compelling Evidence focuses solely on nonfiction texts and resources. Next week, we will be watching the documentary Bowling for Columbine. This documentary deals with many central topics. However, one of the most prevalent topics throughout the film is the issue of gun control in America. This has always been a highly controversial and political topic, with strong voices and advocates on both sides of the issue. In order to prepare for this documentary and to better understand the strong divide in this country over this issue, you will be required to do some brief research, reading, and writing on either the pro argument or the con argument of gun control. Okay, so in this assignment, I'm going to make you choose a side to argue, and you're going to do a little research on the side when we deal with the topic of gun control. Now, when you have a controversial topic or any kind of issue, there's always a pro side and a con side. Okay. The pro side are people who are proponents of more gun control laws. These are people who believe that we should have more laws in the books, more restrictions on guns. It kind of says it right there in the description. They propose more gun control. The con side are the people who are opponents of more gun control laws. They believe in more access to firearms, and they have reasons that they believe that Americans should be allowed to carry guns. And there's a numerous amount of reasons that they go over in support of their position. So these are the two positions on this highly controversial issue. Now, the first thing I would like you to do in just a second is to open up this website that I have posted on here, guncontrol.procon.org. So, what I'd like you to do right now is pause this video and open up this website. Okay, if you're back, I'm assuming you paused the video and opened up this website. I'm going to go ahead and do that myself, just so I have it open too on my screen. So as you can see, it's now opening up. And the website is britannicaprocon.org. It is a reliable, nonpartisan, and trying not to be a divisive website to try to teach you both sides of an issue. And the issue is presented right here on the screen. Should more gun control laws be enacted? So if I scroll down, you will see it gives a little bit of a brief history on gun control policy in the United States, a little bit of what I've already talked about. But if I scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that you have kind of a T-chart here with the pro and con arguments. On the left side, the side in blue, you'll see all the different pro arguments. And on the right side, the side in orange, you'll see all the different con arguments. Each argument is started off by a clear claim or position that is bolded in black, and then followed by some evidence or some direct references to text or issues that represent or support that position. So if I scroll down, you'll see that there are a lot of pros and a lot of cons for both sides of the gun control issue. In fact, if I scroll all the way down, I'm going to go quickly here. There are at least 15 for both. Okay, so there's 15 different pro arguments and 15 different con arguments when it comes to the gun control issue on this page. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top here, right? And I'm going to go back to this document. Now, first thing you need to do, it says, next, you'll be assigned one of the positions to review. Write either pro or con in the box based on your assigned topic, right? Now, if I did not assign topics to you, I would like you to just choose one. So you would either type pro in this box or you would type con in this box, whichever side of the argument you want to research. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to be a proponent of more gun control laws? Or do I want to research the opponents of more gun control laws and do the con argument? Now, I know a lot of people tend to want to pick the side that they agree with, but one thing about this activity is maybe try choosing the side that you would not agree with and go with that position rather than the one you commonly look at. Because as a an intuitive reader and someone who wants to be educated, you should always look at both sides of an issue before taking a position. So sometimes it helps to look at a position and try to argue a position that you don't necessarily agree with. I oftentimes find that fun to argue a position that I don't necessarily agree with. So right now, in just a second, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and again write either pro in this box or con in this box. All right, whatever position you want to take. So pause the video and write that down now. Okay, if you're back, then I'm assuming that you've taken a position and put it in this box. For this video, I'm going to go ahead and type con, just because I'm going to just kind of fill it out myself. So I'm going to take the opponents of more gun control laws position, and I'm going to research that. All right. So your next step then is, it says, then, depending on your assigned position, scroll through either the 15 pro arguments or the 15 con arguments and, without reading the full descriptions, write down the 5 arguments that stand out the most to you that support your side of the topic. You can even copy and paste them to save time. Okay? So what you want to do is, since I'm con, or whichever one you choose, you go back to this document, you scroll down, and you read just the different topics. Just these parts in bold and black at the top, the different arguments for pro and the different arguments for con, but only read the one for the argument that you decided. So if you chose pro, read all 15 pros. If you chose con, read all 15 cons. Again, just the parts in bold and black, the claims, the topic sentences. So please pause the video and read all 15 for the side that you chose now. Okay, if you're back, I'm assuming that you've paused the video and that you've read all 15 topic sentences for the side that you chose. So finally, what you would need to do is, I will go back here. You're going to need to select, again, 5 arguments that stand out the most to you for your topic. So I'm going to go back here and just to show you how I would do this. Let's say I thought con number 1 was a really good claim that the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects individual gun ownership, and that's a good claim to support my argument. I would just go ahead and copy that, and then I would come back over to this box, and I would paste it right there. And I have my first position down. Right? Then I would come back and let's scroll down. Let's just say maybe I chose the 4th con as another point that I thought was pretty good or strong. I would copy that and paste that over here. And then I would go back and I would find another one. Let's say I like con number 7. Gun control laws such as background checks and microstamping are an invasion of privacy. I copied that one and I would paste that here. And of course, I would do 2 more then, right? So I'm just going to do it quickly just for video purposes. I'm going to go ahead and highlight con number 8 and bring it right here. And then I'm going to go back and highlight con number 9 just because it's right underneath it. Again, you want to choose the 5 that you think are the strongest for your topic. I'm going to go ahead and paste that here. And now I have my 5. So now I have 5 different points to support my position, whether I'm a pro or a con. Right? So then the next thing I need to do is says, then rank those 5 in order from strongest to weakest, putting 1 next to the strongest and 5 next to the weakest. Right? So I would go over here on the side, and let's just say I would put this as the strongest point. This is the weakest point. This is in the middle, 3. This is another strong point, 2. And then 4 would be the one that I have left here. So you can see I ranked my positions 1 through 5 based on which ones I thought were the strongest. So here's what I'd like you to do now. I'd like you to go back to this document, scroll through all the topics for your position, and cut and paste 5 arguments to support your side right here in these boxes, and then rank them 1 through 5, depending on the strongest to weakest. All right, pause the video and fill in your chart. All right, if you're back, I'm assuming you paused the video and you filled in your chart. Your chart should look something like mine, where you have 5 different points filled into this chart, depending on whether you're a pro or whether you're a con. And then, of course, you want to scroll down to the next part. Now, the next part says, now that you have listed 5 arguments for your side of the position and you have ranked them 1 through 5, you need to list your top 3 arguments again and then copy and paste the compelling evidence provided from the website. So what I would do is I would go up here to my chart and I would find my number 1. My number 1 is right here, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here and put that for number 1. Now what I need to do is go back to this website, go to number 1 again, which is right here. Only this time I'm going to copy the supporting evidence, this part, the compelling evidence that they use. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, come back to my document, and paste it there. So now I have my first argument written down, and I have my first support the support for that argument written down right there. So then I'm going to come back up here again, go to my number 2 now, which is right here, highlight my number 2, copy it, oops, wrong page, go back, scroll down to argument number 2, and then of course I would go back to my document. I would go down and find that argument again, more gun control is necessary. So I'm going to have to go all the way down here and find the description. So I'm scrolling here, and here we go. And I go here, and I take this information, and I copy it, the support, and I come back, and I paste it again. And then I would go get my third strongest argument, which is this one right here. I rank this one third, so I'm going to copy that. Come down here to my third argument, paste it. Now I got to go back and get this argument, so I'm going to scroll up here. Here's the support, con number 7. So I'm going to copy that, come back here, and paste it. So again, if you look at this document now, I took my top 3 arguments, I put the main claims right here, and then I put the supporting evidence directly from the website underneath that claim in these boxes. So what I want you to do right now is pause your video and do your top 3 arguments and fill in these boxes. So pause the video and do that now. All right, if you're back, then I'm assuming that your argument 1, your argument 2, and your argument 3 boxes are completed, which means you are now ready to outline your paragraph and put it together. And this is the last part of the assignment. So what you do is you're going to be writing a gun control paragraph. So here are the directions. Finally, read the explanations for your 3 strongest arguments above, and then outline a paragraph arguing your side of the argument, citing an example of evidence for each of your points. So I would need to go back up here, and I would want to read all 3 of these. I would want to read this one through. I would want to read this one through. And of course, I would want to read my third argument all the way through. So I understand my 3 points and support for those points. So please pause the video and read your 3 now. If you're back, then I'm assuming that you read your 3. So you're ready to take all that information now and finally synthesize it into a paragraph. Okay? So a topic paragraph should start off with a thesis or claim statement that states your position. Well, there are 2 positions that you can take. If you were a pro, it says America needs more gun control laws and less access to firearms. These are people who are proponents of more gun control laws. If you're a con, you would write America needs no change to the current gun laws and the direct access to firearms. They want things to stay the same. So for my example, since I was a con, I'm going to delete this line here and keep the second line. That's good. This is going to be my position statement. Now, if you were a pro, you would delete the con line and keep this line as the first line of your sentence. But again, I'm going to go back here because I'm a con. So I got to delete this. Sorry. I got to delete this first line because this is my position. I'm taking the con approach. And then what you do is you just kind of put a paragraph together using your information. So it says argument number 1, state your first argument. So I would go back up here, find my first argument. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Come down here, paste it. Right? Now I have my first piece of argument there. So you can see that the font is off a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is, since my regular font is Arial 12, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to change this to Arial, and I'm going to change this to 12. I'm going to remove the bold so you can see it's all the same font. I'm also going to remove this orange highlighting behind it. So I'm going to come back up here where it says highlight color. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to go to the white and remove the orange highlighting. And then I have my first line. And then I need some evidence. So I'm going to need to go back up into this box. I'm going to have to find a couple lines of evidence somewhere in this response that would be good support. And I would come down here and put that evidence right here in this box. Then I would talk about what is suggested by that example. And then I would talk about why it matters. And then I would do the same for my second argument. I would go up here, go to argument number 2, take this one, copy it, bring it back, paste it. I do the same thing I did again, change the font to Arial 12, get rid of the bold, and make the font and everything unified. And then I would have my second point. Remove the highlighted color, make it nice and clean there. And now I'm going to go out and write in a paragraph on my second point. Go back up, get some more textual evidence on my second point. And then I would put that evidence right here. And then I would continue to fill out these boxes. And you would do that for all 3 of your arguments. Once that's done, then you put it all together in a final paragraph and you are finished. I know this seems kind of complicated, but if you follow these steps, you can go back and rewind this video if you need. I think you'll be able to work your way through this assignment. And by the time you're done in this box, you should have a nice topic paragraph written on gun control for either the pro or con position, whichever one you took. So good luck to you on this assignment. And like I said, if you need to watch parts again, go back and watch them. Pause them at certain moments and complete this activity. Good luck.